In World War I, about 800 Australian light horsemen managed to do the impossible at Beersheba. After an exhausting 3-day ride across the desert, they volunteered to try to take the heavily fortified town. It was a cavalry charge against overwhelming odds, but it was to be Australia's first great victory of the war. For tonight's special report, Chief Foreign Correspondent Philip Williams travels with the family of one of the original light horsemen as more than 100 riders reenact this remarkable feat at Beersheba.
This was literally do or die. Immortalised in films, the charge of Beersheba pitted 800 Australian light horsemen against the well-armed and entrenched Turks. Machine gun against man and beast. When the last gun was silenced, 31 Australians lay dead. The bodies of 70 horses were scattered where they fell. Sergeant Henry Harry Peard was awarded the Distinguished Conduct Medal that day for charging a machine gun post with another soldier.
He and a young man charged a turret single-handedly. They got through the bullets somehow and then took over the trench.
I knew he was a light horseman, had no idea how amazing he was, that he'd been a very brave man. They all were, of course, but he was a war hero, and so yeah, I'm going to honour Pop. That's what I'm going to do.
It's a long way from her beautiful Kapiti Valley property west of Sydney, but for Lynn Richardson, the journey to Beersheba is an act of love for her grandfather, who passed on his passion for the horses she now breeds.
They were incredibly brave, but they wouldn't have done it without Australian stock horses, as we call them now. But the whalers, you know, this breed has been capturing those horses that were sent over to war. So many went and never came home.
Joining the pilgrimage to Beersheba, Lynn's husband Bruce and Robbie Holdaway, practising for the reenactment of the charge and watched by David Lester, son of light horseman Bruce Snowy Lester.
What they saw, some of their mates killed right alongside them and little things like that. It's an experience that you'd have to go through yourself to really know what it really was.
On the porch of his father's Mudgee home, David Lester and daughter Robbie show me some of the personal items from that campaign.
These are his spurs that he wore through the entire campaign. This is the bit out of the mouth of his beloved Gugu.
What happened to Gugu?
Well, as far as I know, he was put down.
By your father, do you think?
I doubt if Dad could have shot him.
That must have been a heart-wrenching moment for your father.
I'd say it was a heartbreaking moment. The light horsemen had rather lose their best mate than their horse.
Now in the dry desert of southern Israel, the Australians are back, retracing the journey towards Beersheba, preparing for a recreation of the famous charge, following the same route taken by their grandfathers, great-uncles and dads.
It's absolutely unbelievable. To think that I'm here 100 years later, Dad was here. It's quite emotional, yes. It's a thing that I thought would never happen, but it has.
For David's daughter Robbie, it's a deeply personal experience, a powerful blend of land, history and family.
It's amazing. It's very overwhelming, actually. Just to feel, I feel my grandfather here.
I don't want to see anyone disrespecting anyone's horse.
Just as a century ago, there are orders to be obeyed, military discipline to follow. Everything is rehearsed, everyone with a role to play. But just as in 1917, it's the horses that make everything possible. Though man and beast are not always in perfect harmony. Whatever setbacks here pale into insignificance compared with the life and death challenges their forefathers had to overcome.
Our Aussies just did us so proud. So I'm very proud about that.
Even a century after the remarkable charge, the history is as evocative as ever. As the horsemen and women ride towards Beersheba, Australian forces continue to battle against Islamic State in neighbouring Syria. The echoes of conflict never far from this troubled region. Philip Williams, ABC News, near Beersheba, Israel.